this is Tracy Ferguson. I want to welcome you back to WOLW and one of my favorite segments that we've started here called Coffee for the Soul. Coffee, why? Because I got to have my coffee. Let's get this up here in the camera. This is Sonic, our local Fort Payne Sonic, and I want to thank them for agreeing to furnish me with some coffee. And I've got a gentleman in here that's going to be talking. We're going to talk about coffee. We are, but I'm going to be right back with you. But speaking of Sonic, we do want you to go by. Let them know that you appreciate them supporting WOLW and the type of program that we do here that's got inspiration, motivation, and most importantly, integrity. If you are a local business in the area that's interested in sponsoring our programming, please contact the office and Matt can get you in contact with me and I can talk to you about how you can be a sponsor of great programming here at WOLW. I'd love to come by your business or organization and talk to you about how you can be a part of things like Coffee for the Soul. This program stems around motivation and inspiration, and I've got one of my good friends in the studio with me today, and his name is Mr. Nate Fortner. How you doing this morning, Nate?
I am fantastic.
I would offer to shake your hand, but before we got on, no way. I told him I'm pulling a Howie Mandel. Before we got on the air, Nate is over here sneezing, blowing his nose, and you know all this craziness that's going on in the area. We was talking about that actually before getting on the air, and I don't want to get too carried away with local events, but we've got so many fires here locally and regionally, and you've been out touring, and you've run into some of that, and it's just creating an issue for folks. So I'm not going to shake his hands because I don't want all these germs. But I want to introduce y'all to Nate Fortner. He calls Boaz, Alabama home. I was going to ask you if it was Boaz or Albertville, but you actually live in Boaz.
I'm in Boaz.
All right. Nate is a singer. He is a songwriter. He is a minister. He has a publishing company. And this subject near and dear to our heart, Coffee for the Soul, he's actually got his own coffee label. How cool is that you get? Angela's watching our show from over here in the background, and she's grinning from ear to ear. If it's somebody got something to do with coffee, Angela and I are we're psyched up about coffee. So Nate has got his own coffee blend. How famous do you have to be to have your own coffee blend?
Not very famous.
just know somebody that grinds coffee.
That's right.
We got to get on with the important parts of the show. We're going to talk a little bit about your music. We're going to talk a little bit about your ministry, and then we are going to take a little commercial break. And then when we come back, what I'm wanting on our program today is we're going to talk about what you do for other people, and that is Whosoever Press, which is a publishing company where you work with folks. So very quickly, I want to introduce you to our audience. We do our Artist Spotlight program, which we're actually going to have you on. You're going to do some performing for us, so we want our audience to be watching out for that as well. You are what is considered I'm going to let you say it because I'm going to get it wrong if I say it. It's Christian country Christian. What do you consider yourself as far as an artist is concerned?
You can call me country. You can call me Christian country. You can call me country gospel. You can call me country Christian. But either way, at the end of the day, I sing with a country twang that lifts up the name of Jesus.
Wonderful. I think Christian country music is probably what the industry refers to that as. So he does that. You also are a minister as well. Is that correct?
I am.
All right. Tell me just real briefly about that, some of the things that you do. We'll talk about that more in the other segment, but I do want folks to know that you do that. You are available if churches are interested in having you come. As far as
Absolutely.
ministry is concerned, we'll do some contact information at the end. So do you just do music and just do ministry? Do you try to do both of those when churches call you? How do you work as far as the ministry side? How do you kind of categorize what you do there?
Definitely both. I really don't feel that, even if you're a singer, yeah, I understand there is a level of entertaining people, but if you're a singer and you're going to minister to people in song, you need to be able to minister to people. You know, anybody can sing, whether you can carry a tune in a bucket or not, anybody can sing. Yeah. Anybody can open their mouth and blow hot air.
Yeah.
I do that very well. And
I think both of us have that ability.
So when I go to a church, I'm not there. You know, there is a level of there to entertain folks and encourage people and inspire people to do great things through the gospel. But you need to be able to minister to people. You have to be able to get down on their level and just get down where they are in their life and preach Jesus. And whether that you're opening your Bible and you're reading Scripture, or you're just giving them what God give you this morning while you was drinking your coffee. Let me tell you, coffee and Jesus go great together.
Do you think Jesus was a coffee drinker?
Well,
It's not in the Bible, but I don't. As good as coffee is, it had to be a religious thing. I don't know. Somebody's going to get me in trouble. Some of the preachers that pay to be on here, I'm going to start getting hate mail from the preachers like coffee. But I don't know. Coffee's so good it had.
I think most of them were wine drinkers, and so. But I don't think they had. I'm not going to say they had wine out there at the temple.
But there are references in the Bible where it was too early for them to be drinking. Even the day of Pentecost, when he let them know that it was just the third hour of the day, so it was too early. So maybe what they done in the morning times was drink coffee.
That's right.
I don't know. But we talked a little bit about your music. We talked a little bit about your ministry. But what I want to focus on today, because our program, we really try to revolve it around motivation and inspiration. And you do something that helps encompass all of that with folks that are writers, and you do some other things as well. So we're going to talk to you a little bit today about your publishing company. And so I'm going to open up, tell us the name of your publishing company. That'd be the first thing to do. And then we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that you do. So go ahead and address the audience. Let them know the name of the publishing company, and then we'll just conversate about some of the things that you do to help
Sounds
folks.
good. The name of the company is called Whosoever Press. Whosoever, just like in the Bible. The Bible says, and it came to pass that whosoever would call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. And we try to incorporate that into our publishing company and kind of make it as a ministry as well. And so what we do with that is whosoever means anybody. And so one thing that I have learned in the publishing industry is there is a difference between being traditionally published, sending your manuscript out to a publisher, hoping they're going to accept it, or believing in yourself enough to pay to have that book published. And then, you are obviously responsible and in control of getting that book out there. It's a lot of work. But that's the kind of people that I've learned that I like to work with, is those people who believe in themselves. And so I started my company a few years back. I had originally, how this all got started was I had started thinking about writing a book. I mean, that was one of my dreams since I was a kid, to write a book. And I thought, I'm going to do this. And so I sat down, I started writing, got everything together, sent everything, found me a publisher, researched publishers, I found the one that I thought was the best. And I sent my manuscript to them. They were super excited to get it. They told me what it would cost. And I thought, man, I was working a full-time 40-hour week, 50, 60 sometimes a week. Y'all know how that goes. And to pay to publish my book. And I never did try to submit it to any traditional publishers. I wanted it done. And so went through this process many, many months. Got it published. Went through designers, cover designers. I mean, I was tickled to death. It's like, man, this is happening.
Finally made it.
Yeah, and it's like,
book.
Yeah, and so I was so excited. So I get the book. I had people buying the book. They were pre-ordering the book, paying me money. And that was good for a little hillbilly kid from West Virginia to have people paying me money for something that I did. Well, that glory was very short-lived. A few weeks later, I started getting phone calls from friends, family, saying, hey, look at page whatever, look at this, look at that. And they said, there's an error on this page, there's a mistake here. And I'm like, what? And I'm thinking, well, there's even the greatest publishing company, every now and then there's going to be something that slips through. Right. And so we've all experienced that reading a great book. What really hit me was when one of my buddies called me and said, Nate, this hardback just fell apart while I was reading it. He said it just fell apart in my hands. And I'm like, it's time to call my publisher. And so I called them, and this is $3,000 later. And I explained what's going on, and they said, there's nothing we can do to help you. We can probably send you a couple extra books. And I'm like, what, so they can fall apart too?
Yeah.
And so I was very unhappy. And I asked him, I said, this book didn't, I said, why are there so many errors? I said, did y'all not put my book through editing? And they said, well, no, you didn't pay for that.
Ah.
I said, well, what did my $3,000 cover? So anyway, to make a long story short, it was in that mess that I decided, you know what? I have ideas for more books. I don't want to go through this mess again. And I started praying. I said, God, give me a way that I can do this myself. Show me how to do this. I says, whether I gotta find editors, pay editors, find printers, whatever I have to do, show me how to do this. Well, you know, if you pray, God's going to answer one way or the other. And so about a year and a half later, Whosoever Press was born in 2012 and published our first author. And the goal of our company, and I say our because I do have employees who work for me, and the goal of our company is to help authors to keep them from going through some of the junk that I had to go through to get my book published. And what started out for me as an idea for me to just be able to do my own books turned into this publishing company. And so like any company, organization, foundation, charity, you learn over time.
Sure.
I didn't know anything about the publishing industry except I wanted to do better than what everybody else had done. Mm-hmm. And so we are still learning. We are still growing. We are doing great things. And I want my authors to be great.
And that's what I want to talk about is the great things that you're doing. Now, we talked off the air a little bit. You said you'll pretty much publish anything as long as at the heart of it, would you say as long as integrity is at the heart of it? You publish for folks. But you do primarily work with Christian artists and things that are of a inspirational and motivational type.
Yes.
That's most of what you work with. Of course, you being Christian-based with your music and everything that you do. Now, you brought a couple of samples of some things that you've done. You've got some books here, so you publish books for people. You've also done some video promotion as well.
Yes.
Tell you what, I'm going to let you give a real quick plug to the movie that you had something to do with. You was telling us off the air about how you published that. And
I didn't publish it, but
I will publish it, but you helped promote it. Let me use the right word there. You helped promote a video called, what is it?
Brothers Keeper. And many of you probably already have heard here in Alabama about the film Brothers Keeper. It's got country music singer Travis Tritt in the film. It's got actor Daniel Simonis, who all the young girls are going to know because he was all over Disney Channel. Actually had Daniel and Stephen Camp, executive producer, at my home here for a little bit in Alabama. Of course, we was all over the place. We didn't have time to hardly sit down to do anything while they were here in town. And how this got started, not with the film, but me being involved with the film, it comes back to when I started writing that book. It was called Teaching Christians to Pray the Bible Way, was my first book that started the company. Mm-hmm. And so before the book was even published with the first publisher, before I had my company, I got an email from a gentleman named Stephen Roddy. Said he was from Columbus, Ohio, and wanted to know if I would write an article for a film, an upcoming film. And I thought, this is a joke. This is a scam. Somebody wants my money.
I'll play along. Tell me what you want.
And so I replied with an email. I said, is this for real? Because I thought, I'm nobody. Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to write a book. Mm-hmm. And so he come back and says, well, I saw you online and some of the writing and some of the stuff that you're trying to do. And so we wanted to try to give you a chance to write something about the film. And so to make that long story short, over the next few weeks, I had the opportunity to write an article for the film, which is actually an excerpt of that article is published on the back cover of my book called Teaching Christians to Pray the Bible Way. It doubles as a prayer journal. If you're going to get it, go to Amazon, order the book, get the revised expanded edition, especially if you're a singer. If you are a singer, you want this book. If you're a Christian and you're trying to develop your prayer life, you want this book. And I'll tell you why for singers. There's a new chapter that I put in the revised expanded edition. It's called Praying Songs.
Praying Songs.
And if you think about it, how do you pray a song? Ask David. He wrote many of them, and they're in our Bible.
but don't get the old version. Because it'll fall apart on you. So get the new.
We done stripped them out. You cannot buy them.
I don't know how much time we've got left, Matthew. So I want to be sure that we do get this in. But not only the books and everything that you do, but let's talk a little bit about other things that you do as far as publishing is concerned. I know you brought us in these bookmarks. And we were talking earlier about business cards. So give everybody out there a little bit of idea of, well, I'm not an author. I don't write. I don't sing. I don't do this. But I've got a business, or I've got a church, or I've got an organization, or I've got whatever that needs printed materials. Kind of give us an outline of what else your publishing company can do besides just publishing for authors.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said a minute ago, every company, every ministry, organization, charity grows as time goes on. And so that's what this catalog, our product line, is a direct result of growing. I noticed that my authors were leaving the company to go everywhere else to print their bookmarks, business cards, everything like that. And I thought, I'm losing money. And this is from the business aspect of this. And I thought, I need to figure out how I can keep my authors here and give them a really great product. And so that's where the product line come along. We do business cards, flyers, banners, bookmarks, anything that my authors need, they can get. Well, the thing is, when local business owners started seeing our business cards, our bookmarks, they thought, where is this stuff coming from? The quality of this is amazing. And so what happened is they said, can we order this stuff from you? And I'm like, why not? So then that's where the actual catalog come from.
Right.
So we go out door to door to businesses, delivering these catalogs. We are doing business nationwide, even with corporate organizations who are buying our product. And they're like, and of course, I'm not even gonna say their name because you know the big business card company that's out there everywhere. And some people are calling saying, how are you beating their prices? And I says, well, I'm the boss. I can do what I want.
Well, I thumbed through you do business cards. I guess anything that's in printed material, even if they don't see it here, if they contact you, you can probably either do it or get a source for it if it's in the printing or publishing world. But the business cards, I also saw, we actually had Deborah Peek in for an interview, and I saw somewhere in here where you did the banners. People that are in the music world will understand. Somewhere in here there's a banner.
Yeah, it's toward the front.
But the stand-up banners that we do by our product tables and everything,
banners.
the retractable banners, so you could get that done. Can you do us one with Matt's face? We need a retractable banner. That would handle our issue, Angela, we talked about earlier. We get us a retractable banner over in our new studio where when he's talking behind the scenes, we can pull it down and we can have Matthew. I had to put you on that project. We'll get that.
That sounds
What
like
about
fun.
the catalog? And you said door to door. We are going to, in just a few minutes, we're going to have to close and do our contact information. But while we've got this out, besides door to door, is there a convenient way that they can actually just get a catalog?
Absolutely.
Straight from you. Go ahead and tell them how to do that.
You can go to our website at whosoeverpress.com. I know that's a tongue twister right there. It's whosoever. It's actually 3 words crammed together in one. Whosoeverpress.com. Go there. You can find our phone number and our contact information. And I'm sure some of that will be rolling up on the screen for you here shortly. And give us a call. Send us an email. Visit our website. We will gladly send you a free copy of this catalog directly to your email. I'll ship you one in the mail. I'll come and deliver it to you if I have to, as long as you're not in Timbuktu. So we'll get you a copy of this catalog, whatever you need. We're here to help authors, singers, songwriters, local business, even if you're nationwide business. Our company is here to help you, to keep you from going through some of the junk with the other printers. We're here to give you a great, awesome product. And let me just say this. I know we're coming down to a close.
Yeah.
I sat down. If you think, I've had this experience. Some people say, well, I've never heard of your company before. Well, I'm sorry. That's my fault. I have failed somewhere in our marketing plan somewhere if you've not heard about my company. And so a lot of what I get is a lot of authors that come to our company say, we've never heard of you before, so how can we trust you with our money?
That's a good business question. Nothing wrong with that
so
question.
we don't charge you thousands of dollars. We give you everything that you need. You're going to be blown away by our publishing package.
So when you do publishing, then you want to back that individual up with all
Yes.
the other things that they need to do that. But if you're not an author or even a singer, but you need this type of material, you can do that as well. Don't have to be a part of the publishing side as far as the books are concerned, just to get those. Now, I know if you're watching and you're with a music group, of course we are, Jordan's Crossing, and I've owned my own business before, and you start thinking, okay, well, I've got to go over here and buy business cards from this person. Okay, I got to go over here and I've got to get, this recording done over here. Then I've got to go get this banner done over here, and you get in this game of having these 5 or 6 people that you're dealing with all the time. So the exciting thing about looking at your catalog is this: you become a one-stop shop for those types of things. Quit looking for 5 or 6 companies to do all of these things for you. Contact Nate at Whosoever Press and let him, if you need simply business cards, or if you say are in the music industry and you need the business cards, you need the banners, you need all this that's involved, do that. And I know Nate is involved in a lot of things, and so he's got a lot of great contacts when it comes to other venues to get out there. This is not even your first time on television, so you've got contacts in other areas that do cable as well. Let's go back up. I want to be sure, because we're starting to run out of time, but I want to be sure that we get all the contact information in before we close. So we got whosoeverpress.com. They can find you there. You want to go ahead and give a phone number out, look at the audience, give them a phone number if they want to reach Nate.
Our office number is 256-706-3315.
And you're a huge social media user as well. They can find you on Instagram. They can find you on Facebook. Our program, when we get all the editing done, will be up on Facebook. So be sure that you go over to WOLW's Facebook page, and then I'm sure Nate's going to capture that and share it on his as well.
Twitter, YouTube, if you can think of it, we're probably on there. There's something that it's called Musical.ly, I think is what it's called. Never heard of it. Somebody said you need to get on there. Everybody's singing. So I got on there, and I'm like, I've got invites from everybody wanting to do singing together, and I'm like, oh, Lord.
I think my kids have been on that Musical.ly thing, so they understand what that's about. I think a lot of that stuff is funny stuff, though. So
it is, so we could have fun with that. We need to do an episode with that.
Oh, I think we've got one. If Matt had the camera on before we started the program, you and I and Angela were sitting around with
Lord, we don't want to show that.
With a fatal attempt at doing Amazing Grace. Probably the single most popular song in gospel music, Amazing Grace. But from an artist, and I think you probably will attest to this, it's definitely got to be one of the most difficult songs to do. When it comes to singing, playing, arranging, because there's so many variations of it out there, it's hard to do that. So we got your contact information. We got Nate Fortner with Whosoever Press. We got a way for them to get a hold of you. Probably whosoeverpress.com if they want one place to find you. I'm sure that's got everything encompassed in that. I appreciate you being with us today. We are going to have to wind it down. One more time, Nate Fortner. He is a singer. He is a songwriter. He is a minister. He has a publishing company. He has his own coffee. I know us Christian folks are not supposed to be jealous. I'm starting to get a little jealous because I don't have my own coffee line, but I have got Sonic, so that's
I
a great
can get
thing.
you some coffee.
I got the Jennings family down, but we do want some of your coffee too. Maybe they won't be too offended by that as well. But we want you to keep watching WOLW because we do have a music segment that's going to come up with Nate. He's going to sing a couple of songs for us. We're going to talk more in depth about his music. And so as we're getting ready to close the program, show us one more thing, Nate.
This is one of my books. It's called Pray in the Names of Elohim. This is one. It's Hebrew for God. And this is just one way to show how we help. We did not even publish this book. This is Wendy McGee. She's down in Louisiana, and it's called And She Called Him Lord. If you have published with another publisher and you need help, marketing, promoting, anything like that, we can still help you.
My good friend, Nate Fortner. Angela, go get us some hand sanitizer because I'm going to shake his hand right here at the end and then hopefully not touch anything else. We hope you've enjoyed Coffee for the Soul today. Come back and be with us with Nate and a lot of other great artists and inspirational folks in our community. Y'all have a blessed day.